Hello, QPR fans, players, TV, home and away. Deejay Ranger back in the place once again, like the Renegade Master, with another ex-QPR player exclusive Q&A interview with the one, the only, Mr. Hogan Ephraim. How you doing, mate?
I'm very good, thank you. Can't complain. How about yourself?
And so, fella, in these strange times that we're having, COVID and all that, yeah, obviously I've been going to work still like normal. Obviously I had some time off with an injury, but yeah, I've been going to work, just been careful. What about yourself? How have you been finding the COVID situation?
Obviously it's different from the norm, and it's not the greatest thing. But I never really tend to let things get me down or whatnot. You always got to find the positive in any situation. So whether that's spending more time with your family, or learning something new which you wouldn't have done if you had like our normal lives back. So I've been alright. Boredom hasn't really hit me. Obviously with the football coming back, been watching a lot of that. Also keeps the days going by. So yeah, you see light at the end of the tunnel and keep going.
Cool. Good to hear that you're keeping busy and stuff, because I'm sure some people are suffering out there. I mean, obviously everyone's different. You know, if you can go to work, even though we complain about work and stuff, but you know, it's keeping the mind occupied, as you say, like, you know, like, and then I suppose with people who like their football and stuff, there's a lot of football on the TV now. All right, you can only watch so much of it, but if it helps them people, then great, it's all good, and then hopefully we can come out the other side, and then things get back to normal. With regards to the football side of things, are you still involved in football? I mean, obviously, have you stopped playing now, or are you still playing at any levels and stuff?
No, I stopped playing completely when I left Wickham. So I do now. I do the commentary for TalkSport Live, which gets aired outside of the UK and Ireland. That's for the Premier League games. So really enjoying that. Been doing that for just over a year, or maybe a year and a half now.
Cool.
So yeah, really enjoyed that. And recently I've signed up with a football agency, OYS agency, doing player recruitment and mentoring some of the players, and just trying to help some of these younger players with their careers and pushing them forward.
At least you're still in the footballing world anyway, which is something you've done, like, as you're much.
That's all I know.
Like, I'm sure most other footballers, it's what they know, to be honest with you, like anybody else. If you're
Exactly.
like you've done music, or if you're an artist, you want to keep, you know, like you're doing, mentoring like maybe up and coming artists, or like yourselves,
Yeah.
like up and coming, possibly promising footballers, or trying to get into that next level and stuff, which is great. You know what I mean? Keep up the good work. Just a few questions really about like your career at QPR, if that's all right, please, Hogan.
Yeah, no.
Thanks for joining us on the channel, by the way, as well. Much appreciated. First question. Obviously, the first one could be QPR related, but it's a footballing question in general as well. When growing up as a young lad, did you support any team, or did you like watching a favourite player and make you decide, I want to become a footballer?
I grew up as a massive Man United fan. Still am to this day. I know it's been a bad 8 years for us, but no, I grew up a massive Man United fan, and Eric Cantona and Ryan Giggs, they were the two that really got me into it. So when I started playing for my local midweek teams and whatnot, I'd always have to wear number 7 or 11. I just wanted to be like them two.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were the team, and they were the two players that got me going. And then when you get older, well, not even much older, I remember '98, so I would have been 10 at the time, and Michael Owen, I know he played for Liverpool, but what an unbelievable player. And I think the whole country just saw at that stage a young superstar going on and showing that anything's possible. So players like that, yeah, they've had a massive influence. And even now, I look at some of the players today, and I could be almost 10 years older than him. For example, Marcus Rashford, some of the stuff he does off the pitch and on the pitch, just an absolute credit. And yeah, I take great pride in watching these people.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I had the luxury of watching Berriese play for QPR, like when he was with us. I mean, that's just one example. I know he's left us now, and a lot of fans will look back on him. I mean, yeah, at first he wasn't really working out for him. He went to Wickham on loan, get some more game time possibly, and obviously he was turned away by Arsenal, Millwall, Fulham for whatever reason. Come to QPR, we give him a chance, like possibly other players as well, and he's sorted himself out of Wickham, got some game time behind, like Elias Cherez as well, and a few other players have gone to Wickham on loan, etc. Ebbs has come back, and then it was just like it went from there really, and he's just grown and grown and grown, and then eventually, like, he's where he is now. He's obviously got sold, which is a shame for us, but that's QPR. We've always sold, unfortunately, you know, class, good top players, even what Les Ferdinand back in the day, people like that. That's the way some clubs are, unfortunately. But good luck to him. That's what I say. You know what I mean? And he's just it was a pleasure watching him. Like, he just gliding the ball past people and scoring them goals he did for QPR. And I've seen a couple that he scored for Palace. He's just taking it like a duck out of water, gaining the water kind of thing. You know what I mean?
He's a brilliant player. He just makes the game look easy, and everything he does, he plays the game at his pace. He never looks like he's losing control of the situation. And similar to you, like I love watching him play. And you mentioned Ilias Chair. I think this season he's really stepped up in my eyes, and he's coming to the fore. And he just needs to keep this going, because I think this is some of the better form that he's shown at QPR. And if he can maintain this, then he's got a great future there ahead of him.
To be fair, Hogan, it's like obviously Ebbs was like top player. I mean, we've got some other good players there, but he was a standout, I think, for me personally in the last two. And as I said, we had Ilias Chair and then Bright Samuel as well. Now, obviously, with the situation with Bright, obviously ongoing, it maybe doesn't help the team. Obviously, if he wants to go, then there's no point in keeping the player. You've got to let them go, to be fair, even though in the best interest for the player, but for the club as well, because clubs don't want to be held to ransom, because, you know, players are there, that's their job. They want to earn as much money, they want to play in the Prem. You know, if he doesn't see that with QPR, then best thing to do is sort out the best way, unlike the Ozil situation at Arsenal kind of thing, which is a madness thing going on there. With regards to your team, when you like our championship winning team with Avere, Adele, now he must be enough talent to play with. Now,
unbelievable.
He's got his skills. You know what I mean? I watched some games like live and on TV where I couldn't go. Like, i.e. Fulham away at Biocats where he went to the bus stop and stuff like that, or whatever. And then Hull City away because the ball wasn't going to him the way he wanted to come off. And I'm thinking, you've got to work harder, man. You can't be doing that. It's like the team might be having a bad day, but you're the player that we're looking to. Like Ebbs was like in recent times. Yeah. I know we got Chair and Samuel, but they're one of the main guys. You know what I mean? As well as in the that you're in, we had the players like Clint Hill, Sean Derry, yourselves, like squad players who do just as good job, but don't get the credit for it because obviously Adele was the kind of the maverick, the main player who was doing it, and for that one season he done it, and you know with the help like to yourself and Clint Hill, Sean Derry, people like that to make so he could do that for us. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it must have been mad playing alongside him, mate. It's like, you know,
he was another one. I remember when I was at West Ham and I was watching YouTube clips and stuff of Adele or video clips, whatever it might have been back then, and outrageous ability, unbelievable skill and talent. And he came to QPR. He showed great glimpses at the start when he first came in on loan and whatnot, but then when Warnock come in, it all came together perfectly for him. And he was the gem. He was the diamond in that team, and everyone knew that and happily accepted that. There was no bitterness towards it, because you realise that this is a special talent and he can help you go to the promised land.
That one season it proved it, Hogan. You know what I mean?
I still say to this day, I don't think any player ever has had a season in the Championship that he had that season. I don't think anyone's ever been as good.
I don't care. I mean, with the help of yourself and all the other team, to make him do that though, like it was like a one-man mission. Like as long as you know, but he done his part. But obviously the others. I mean, obviously behind the scenes, obviously the fans don't see stuff. I mean, like I know he got made captaincy as well, didn't he, for a while?
He was captain. That come about funny actually. We started the season. Who did we beat? We beat Barnsley at home, and we beat Sheffield United away. So I think the next game was Scunthorpe at home. So the managers come in, and I think that was myself, Clint Hill, Sean Derry, Fitzhall, Paddy Kenny. There might have been one more.
I mean,
and the managers
itself, just them players alone, plus the others, Hyder Hill, Tommy Smith.
Yeah.
No, people like that.
So the managers called us 5 or 6 in, and he says, "Look, I don't think Adele's going to turn up today." He's saying, it's Scunthorpe. I think he's just going to want to be flashy, tricks, this, that, the other. Says, I'm going to give him the captain's armband today. So he puts on a show. Yeah. We end up beating Scunthorpe 4-0. He puts on a masterclass, keeps the armband for the rest of the season. So Warnock just knew perfectly how to manage him. And them two probably have completely different views on football, but they just came together and it fit like a glove.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think that done it good, because making him have a bit of responsibility, even though we've all got responsibilities on the pitch, like yourselves and all the other team members, like in any levels of football, Hogan. You know what I mean? He obviously Warnock knew what kind of talent he had, and everyone else did, even though like away from it, what the fans don't see, but on the pitch, that's where it counts. You know what I mean? And that's he's done that for that one season with the help of you guys too. And that was just a mad season. I mean, like we just first, what was it, unbeaten in 19 or 20 games. It was just mental.
Yeah.
And that was just one.
I'll tell you what as well. A lot of people get it misconstrued with Adele. They think behind the scenes he might have had a bad attitude or lazy, this, that, the other. His attitude towards football is unbelievable. And as a teammate, he's like, I don't even know how to explain it. He's like a little kid. Like he always just wants to joke around, always doing little pranks. So like,
even on the pitch, it was like,
yeah. So like, I warmed to him because sometimes you can get mavericks who are a bit sulky or petulant, and he was none of that at all. He was a good teammate as well, and I could say that honestly.
Okay, I mean, yeah, of course. You know, what I mean, from what I saw, generally overall, I mean, that was one good season. Of course, he had to play at a higher level and for bigger teams, which is what every player must aim for, I suppose. At the end of the day, you know what I mean, you want to play at the top level, you want to play for the best teams. You know, in games he may have swung in and out, but for that one season, he was just solid. It was like with the help of you guys, as I keep saying, because everyone's got to be remembered in that. For that squad, that was a big squad for us. That's everyone stood up and done it, and obviously fair play to everyone. Going on to the next question, but it's great talking about Adele and like that championship winning team. That must have been great, feeling the camaraderie, the banter in the change room, buzzing, mate. Everyone must have been buzzing for that.
Yeah, no, it was unbelievable, especially because the 3 or 4 years building up to it, we had a lot of lows where things were expected of us, and we didn't really perform up to the standards that we should have done. So yeah, when it finally all came together, it was unbelievable, and I wouldn't have wanted to do it with any other teammates than them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as you're quite rightly said about like Adele, and it'll be the same. Like, you know, a lot of people will see, great player, great maverick, you know, lots of flair, done damage in that season, and as you pointed out, like, you know, it could be a bit moody, petulant, which you saw kind of on the pitch, but that's because that's him. That's his own individual thing. But if he'd done it on the pitch and scored the goal, just set someone up like yourself or someone else to score a goal, that's what the fans are obviously going to see. But you know, unfortunately, he's a human being. He's going to make a mistake from time to time, or he's going to get upset, which happens like anyone. You know what I mean? It's fair enough. But you know, if it's good for the team and it works out like it did that season, then great. You know what I mean? And he seems to be doing well now at Benfica as well. So you know, which is another plus point for him, which is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Next question: what year did you join QPR, Hogan?
Joined on loan in 2007, and then I joined permanently on 1st of the 1st, 2008.
Okay. And next question: who did you make your debut for QPR against?
In the loan spell, it was away at Bristol City, and then on the permanent transfer, away at Chelsea in the FA Cup.
Okay, nice debut then.
You know what? It wasn't that good of a debut because we had I think we had me, Fitzhall, Patrick Adjumang, Matt Connolly all joined on the same day. There might have been another one that I'm missing. And we've gone away to Chelsea and they put out their so-called reserves, but you were seeing Pizarro, I think Ballack played, Paulo Ferreira. So it just didn't touch the ball. It was just like it was a mini pre-season. We were just running around.
I can imagine. I mean, you're like with the bigger, as you know yourself from being an ex-pro and stuff, and even today, like big teams, they're going to have better players. They can make you feel 2 or 3 big squads. Even as you said, like their third string squad would be just as good as their first team because they're big name players. So as you mentioned, like with the Chelsea team, Ballack, people like that. You know what I mean? But big players. You know what I mean? It's like Man City today now. Similar incidents, like their second string. Right, it might not be as strong or their third string, but compared to like your team, you're going to have some big name players in there. You know what I mean? Okay.
No, definitely.
Next question. Who did you score your first QPR goal against?
That was away at Colchester. And I remember that well because I was on loan. Colchester was my first ever loan spell. And they wanted to take me back on loan. But Mick Harford, who was the assistant there, had just moved to QPR. Yeah. So I decided to go QPR. And I remember the morning, my agent had rang me the morning of the game. And he's saying, Colchester want to put a bid in for you when January's coming around. But I'd already spoke to John Gregory at the time, who said to me he wanted to make it permanent as well. And even though results weren't going well, I was enjoying it at QPR. Everything just, it was all good. It was all nice. So, yeah, when I played Colchester, went a goal down, equalised, and then we went on to lose 4-2. So it weren't the greatest return in there, but it was glad to score.
Well, the less said about that, the better. But obviously, you said you scored whatever, but we lost. But, you know, from your personal point, it's a bit of a plus, but unfortunately, we lost the game. Next question, obviously, in your time at Rangers on loan and then making it permanent, what's the most memorable game you've played in while playing for QPR? Obviously, there could be loads. Just spell it and play for us. But is there any standout games that you...
Do you know the game that always sticks in my head, and it's a bit weird? It was coming towards the end of the season. Warnock had just taken over. So it was the year before we got promoted. So this would have been maybe April or May 2010, towards the end of the season. We went and played Crystal Palace away, and we was down near the bottom, so were they. And we beat them 2-0 at the game where after about 10 seconds, Damien Stewart fractured his skull. Yeah, and that game, that was a massive game, one that we had to win, but the atmosphere was unbelievable that day. Still to this day, from the away fans, who are obviously Rangers fans, and the Palace fans, you know, that little section they have, they always make it lively as well. Yeah, they always make it lively there. So the atmosphere and getting the win, and not even just a win, I thought we absolutely bossed them that day as well. So
generally, I thought we outplayed them all over the park that day.
Yeah, they couldn't live with us.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah. So that game always sticks in my head, and I think that was the springboard then, because once we won that, we was basically safe.
Yeah.
And then you go and you get the Sean Derrys, the Clint Hills, the Jamie Mackeys, the Paddy Kennys, the Bradley Orrs, and then that obviously pushed us on to the next level. So I think that was a good springboard, and yeah, I'd say that game is my most memorable.
Okay, mate, cool. Thanks for that. Obviously, we're going to away games with QPR. Did you roommate with anyone in particular, or was it various players over the season?
I would have had a few, because obviously the squads kept changing, but Rowan Vine would have been one early doors. Patrick Adjemang was another one. Then Wayne Routledge and Danny Simpson. So those were the four that I'd spend most of the time with. All good guys, lively, funny people. We had a lot in common. So yeah, it was good.
Interesting on the away games then, like obviously staying up half the night maybe or so watching.
Yeah, to be fair, everyone was just chilled. It would just be, and I've never been into it, but everyone would be on their box sets even back then. So I'd be in the room and I'm thinking, we can't even have a conversation. They've got the bloody earphones on, but no, it was all good. But I remember one trip, an away trip, they put me in a room with Angelo Balanta. Maybe Adjemang at the time didn't travel. And people had told me about Angelo snoring, but I didn't believe it, right? I'm telling you, at 3 a.m, I've got my headphones on trying to block it out, still hearing through the music. I've had to go downstairs in the hotel. I had to pay for another room for myself. I just said, I need to get another room. Like, this guy sleeps like a donkey.
You should put the pillow over him. Like, I mean,
yeah, I should have. Keep
in contact with Angelo. Do you still remind him about the snoring and stuff or not?
Yeah. And what's crazy, he can fall asleep anywhere. So we've been out before, me and him, say if we're going on a little day session, 5-minute drive to the next place, he gets a 5-minute nap in. I'm saying, are you sure? He's miles off it, the guy.
Because it's only going to be a late one. Okay, cool. Nice one for that. Okay, obviously your time at QPR, playing at the ground. What's it like playing at a full Loftus Road, or Kian Prince as it's called now? I mean, obviously I know you didn't, but...
Yeah, no, unbelievable. When that place is buzzing, especially in most seasons, it's always buzzing, but especially that season which we got promoted, the atmosphere was just different, like a whole nother level. From the first game of the season when we won 4-0 at home to Barnsley, it just never dipped the whole way. And it's so intense because the throwing line's right next to the stands, and you can just feel the energy. So yeah, I loved it. What wasn't good to play there when things weren't going well. I can't remember who would have been manager, Mick Harford maybe, when we lost at home to Ipswich and Scunthorpe, and that's when a lot of pressure gets on you, because the fans, they're not shy to not let you know if you ain't putting in the shift, you know.
I mean, so to be fair, Hogan, it's like, obviously fans pay their money to go, right? And me personally, if I see you're giving 100% on the pitch and we get beat fair and square, you can't really complain if they've tried so hard. You know what I mean? Obviously, fans will just moan anyway because we've lost the game full stop, which no one wants to do. You know what I mean? The players, I think, oh, well, let's lose today or whatever. You know what I mean? It might look as if they're not trying, but they might probably are. But it's just because of the fact that the fans in general see the game as a defeat and we've lost, then you're going to start putting pressure on yourselves, the manager, like it is at kind of at the minute with the club. You know what I mean? Because we haven't had a bit of a great spell. You know, we've lost key players through on loan players like Hugo Wells, Eze going to Crystal Palace. Obviously, we couldn't afford Hugo Wells, I don't think, money-wise, wages and stuff like that by the counts. And obviously, Ibero went because obviously club come in for him and the club couldn't turn down the money that which they were offered for him. You know, and it's a gamble buying players like who may have come from a different league or a different division, possibly lower league as well. All right, they can only improve possibly, but it is a gamble at the end of the day, like anything else. Like when we come up to the Premier League, we spent all that money, and that's why I think we're suffering today because we took the gamble and it actually probably fell short for us, unfortunately. But the club have learnt from that, and they're trying to do it the right way now, which is the best way, I think. The fans might have to suffer for a few more years, but hopefully we'll see the benefits in maybe years to come. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But okay, mate, great to hear that. Obviously playing in front of us, but even with a not so full house, it was still mad. Must be still mad playing because you're so close to the pitch. Even so,
unbelievable.
Like 10,000.
Do you know, right? Do you know? Obviously, fans at every ground are massively important. That's why you see the difference in home and away results in general. But QPR was different in the respect of. So I didn't like cup games, especially say a Carling Cup game at Loftus Road where there's 1,000 people, because I walk into Loftus Road and I'm expecting. It's like if you go to a nightclub and it's always amazing, it's always this. Then you walk in and there's 4 people there. They might be 4 of the best people you ever meet, but it's not the same. Do you know what I mean? So
you know what I mean, to get the vibe and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you miss that vibe at QPR, and I think that compared to most grounds that I've played at, anyway, I think Loftus Road, full Loftus Roads, compared to 1,000 or 2,000 there for a cup game, makes a huge difference. Whereas I don't think at every other ground they notice it as much because they're just not as intense as supporters.
I mean, like you've played at numerous different grounds throughout your career, Hogan. I mean, going to these bigger grounds with 50, 60, 70,000 people in, right? From when I've gone to games with QPR watching them, like they'll sing and they'll stop and it's soulless. And even the newer grounds nowadays, they're like, they might look nice and, you know, it's all like weather, but give me like a day. Like, I know it's cramped, I know it's small, but when as you said, when the team are playing well, and the crowd's there, it's rocking, man. It's rocking. Yeah. Right.
No, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
And to actually play it like you did, it must have been great as well. You know, you must have got a buzz and a lift. You know what I mean? It's like every time, you know, the team's doing well, and that season we won the championship as well.
It used to kill me though, because after games, it's hard enough games anyway with all the adrenaline that you've had in your body for the day. So when I come out of there and I've had 20,000 absolutely rocking the place, I'm on cloud 9. I'm not sleeping till about 6 in the morning. So I was in all sorts of trouble.
That's as a player, that's what kind of you want though, because obviously you're winning games. You know, if you win championship titles, it's even better. You know, and obviously we've had decent teams over the years at Rangers, and it's like some of them haven't even won nothing, but the likes of when we had Cmon, Wilson, Maddox, McDonald, Barker, Holloway, Les up front, Andy Sinton, people like that. It's your team that you're involved in. You know, we're a team to be reckoned with, but obviously we just didn't make that final push at times. And obviously, the 2010-11 season we won the title, which is great. But yeah, it's we've had some good teams over the years, good players, you know. And we finished top London club a few times over the so-called bigger clubs in London, which is an achievement for us, considering the size of us. But yeah, cool. Yeah. Obviously, with regards to your playing days at QPR, do you keep in contact with any ex-teammates from playing days whilst at QPR before social media, and now with the social media fully in place around the world?
Yeah, so I've always kept in touch with Patrick Adjaman, Matthew Connolly, Fitz Hall, Rowan Vine, Wayne Routledge, Danny Simpson. Me and him, we speak about 6 times every day. There's always something going on. We speak about 6 times every day. So yeah, so I've always kept in touch with all of those boys, and then through social media as well. will keep in touch with the likes of Clint Hill, Jamie Mackey, Paddy Kenny again, because when Paddy came to Rangers, he was one of my neighbours. He moved into the same same area as me. So yeah, back in touch with him. So yeah, I've kept in touch with quite a lot of them. So it's been nice.
It's a shame, like with the COVID. I mean, obviously everyone's busy. You know what I mean? Like players that have like retired from playing football and busy in the media stuff, or kept in the football, running their own business and stuff. Obviously, like with myself, like old school mates possibly and stuff like that, with the social media platform, that's good for kind of that stuff, you know what I mean? And then, you know, but it's great. I mean, if you keep in contact with even better, whether you meet up and stuff for now and again or just reminisce about the time, that's what it's all about, though, isn't it?
Oh, I can't even believe I just forgot about Ali Falling. Keep up in touch with him all the time. That guy's an absolute legend.
Oh, yeah, man, he's proper. He's like
legend.
Considering the 3 ACLs that he had, I mean, it's a shame really, because I thought he was a quality player for QPR, along with many other players that are around that time as well. He's like,
I'm amazed that QPR don't get him back right now on a free transfer. I think he'd still do the business. I think that guy.
He was, I mean, special in his own way. You know what I mean? Everyone's got parts and their weaker points about him. You know what I mean? He was up. I mean, like Adele was just mad anyway. Like you know, on a good mad kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ali was. You know,
when it comes to controlling a game, nobody can touch Ali. He can control the tempo of that game. He sees things that people don't see. He just lovely.
And like getting him through balls and stuff, like you must have been in heaven with that kind of service you're getting.
Yeah, because people like him, you just know you can trust him, because there's nothing worse than if you're making run and you can't trust the player with the ball to deliver it. With him, you don't even have to think twice. It's just get on your bike and he's going to find you. Or if you play the ball to him, you make the run for the 1-2, you know that he's on the page as you. So, yeah, privileged to play alongside an unbelievable guy.
I mean, obviously, you build up a rapport with certain teammates on the pitch kind of thing, whether it's down the same side as you, alongside you, and that can only help the team as well, Hogan, you know what I mean? It's like, like long term, you know what I mean, as well. You know, it's like you get a connection going, like, say, like maybe, I'm trying to think now, maybe Kevin Gallen and Les, maybe to a degree.
Yeah.
That's one, like, kind of, like, partnership that kind of done okay with Rangers. There's loads more, just off the top of my head kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, say, Adele and Ali in the midfield, one's like, even though they're both creators, like one done the more attacking minded, the other one might say defensive, but then we had the likes of Sean Derry and people like doing that kind of work. So these guys then could do the stuff alongside yourself and whoever else. Okay, mate, cool. Well, thanks for that. Next one, not many to go, by the way. I won't keep you much longer.
No worries.
What teammate had the worst dress sense at QPR whilst you're playing for the club, if any?
Oh, we had a few. We had Matteo Alberti. His clothes were even tight for an Italian. Like, I know that they like the tight fit, but my God, these were extremely tight. Pascal Chimbonda was shocking when he was there. He thought it was a music video every day he came in. So he was miles off it. Who else was there? Gareth Ainsworth weren't the best. Oh, he weren't the best. You never knew if he was just coming straight from home or from a rock and roll concert.
Yeah, because he does the music stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, he was dressed as shambles. But yes, so there was quite a few. We didn't have too many well-dressed people. Even Ali himself, Ali was quite bad, especially when he first came over from Argentina. I don't think that. I think that he just thought one size fits all. He didn't know there were different sizes in clothes. So he was miles off it. But no, we didn't have too many greatly dressed people. I was trying to up the level for them, but it weren't happening.
With Pascal now, what kind of stuff would he wear? Would he like bright colours, or would it be just outrageous clothing? Or
there'd be bright colours, there'd be baggy as anything. Just every day he came in, it looked like he was doing a video shoot. It was insane. He would just have a do-rag on every morning. There was all sorts.
In a way, that's part of the banter and the camaraderie amongst the teammates.
Yeah.
I mean, which helped that season we won the title. Even though, like, I'm not saying other seasons weren't good, but especially that. I mean, you can have, like, you know, within certain levels, you know, you can't keep, you know when a man's on the flip or, like, you know, get angry and stuff. So you think, right, let's calm it down. But that must help as well, like having a banter and stuff in it. Like any kind of seasonal team, you know what I mean? They're all at it. It's part of the thing, you know. If you get on the right with everyone, great, because then it can only benefit the team overall. Do you know what I mean? And then
100%.
Next one, Was there any jokers in the QPR team when you were at the club?
Yeah, there were. The main joker, this weren't at the start of it, but the main joker that I've ever seen there is Anton Ferdinand. The guy is off his rocker. Jamie Mackey, absolute crazy guy. Bobby Zamora, unbelievable. Back in the promotion winning side, Bradley Orr. How could I forget Bradley Orr, the Scouser? He loved it. Yeah, so no, we had quite a few jokers, lot of wind-up merchants.
That must have been good.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Some of the things that were going on, it was hilarious.
I can imagine what was going on, but obviously you maybe can't say on
Yeah, I can't say too much, but I'm cracking up to myself just thinking about it. Rowan buying another guy.
Change room stays in the change room, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a code of contact amongst ex-pros and pros alike, you know what I mean? So that's a fair one.
No, so we were fortunate in the way of throughout the years there was always great camaraderie, and the boys, that they loved it. It was always good spirits down there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear, mate. That's good to hear. Which is a plus for him, because obviously, like, you know, even though it's a serious business of playing football and winning games or trying to win games, like keeping the fans happy, keeping the manager in his job possibly, because at the end of the day, if that doesn't happen, then eventually the manager goes, and then the new manager comes in, maybe new motives, new formations, etc. Possibly new players. Then the players that in the squad might get kind of not left out, but not play as much kind of thing as well. But it's that circle that goes around, as you know yourself. Just a couple more, if that's all right, Hogan. Obviously, for home and away games, whilst you're at the club, was there music played before games, or did everyone have their own like special routines to get ready for the game as such?
No, there was always music played. There would be some people that would put their headphones on and have their individual, but we'd always have a main team speaker that was played at the time as well.
And what kind of stuff was played? Was it various, or was there any mad stuff played, or was it just like?
It was various. A lot of music you'd find in nightclubs. A lot of, whether it be house music, funky house at the time, R&B. There was everything. Oh, not R&B, sorry, rap. There was a lot of different things that were being played. Patrick Adjaman was in control of that.
All right.
So he'd be the ones. The boys would come in. They'd always want to give him the iPod. Sorry.
Was Patrick the DJ then? If it be called
yeah, he'd be the one where the boys would come in. They'd want to give him the iPods and whatnot so he could update it. And then it got to the stage he would go around and ask the whole squad for like 2 songs each, for example, and then just bang that out on the playlist, and yeah, it was all sorted. Although that promotion winning season, Sean Derry, when he first came in, so Patrick Adjaman was still the DJ, but Sean Derry made a thing of the last song before we get out, he'd play "I Would Walk 500 Miles." He'd play that. He'd want that blurred out to the top. So yeah, that season he had a bit of input.
Okay, cool. Good to hear, mate. Good to hear. And just a final question for myself. That's all right. Can you give me and the QPR fans watching this vlog an overall summary of your time spent playing for QPR, please?
Unbelievable. I've played for a lot of clubs, not sure how many. If I had to guess top of my head, maybe 8 or 9 in different loan spells as well. No club compares. I was at QPR 6.5 years, coming through the academy at West Ham to get into the first team. I was there years, and I still hold West Ham dearly to my heart, but they're nowhere near as close to my heart as QPR are. I look out for every QPR role to this day. Unless it's Man United, my first eyes go to QPR. They were the club that saw me go from a boy to a man. Had fantastic support there from all the backroom staff, the receptionists, the fans, the players. I know there was a lot of players coming in and out, but just unbelievable. Best time of my life, best 6.5 years of my life. So, yeah, when I first got the call to go on loan there, in my mind, of course I wanted to go, but in my mind, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm going to fall in love with this place and it's going to hold a place in my heart forever. But that's how it is, and it will be till for the rest of my life. Special club, special people, and I honestly wish them all the best. And I can't wait to see them just picking up results. And like you said, they're doing things the right way now, which may be another year or 2 of hurt, but it's for long-term benefits. And yeah, I can't wait, especially when the fans get back in Loftus Road. I want to get back down there, enjoy the atmosphere again, and see QPR get back to the mission, because I do think a lot of people down there deserve that.
Okay, mate. Very kind words there about the club itself, and obviously, I just want to thank you personally for putting the shirt on, the blue and white hoop shirt, and giving your time and effort on the pitch for my team and our team. And as far as I know, the fans did take to you when you were there, mate, because obviously your performances on the pitch showed that. You know what I mean? Obviously, I know maybe towards the end of your career, well, your QPR career, things didn't work out possibly, hence why you went on to play other sides. But as you said, you always hold. I mean, obviously, I know you said Man United, but you look out for QPR because, and the words that you just spoke about the club itself. That's me, mate. And I just want to thank you for coming on QPR Fans and Players TV, home and away with the Q&A about your time spent at QPR. That's it for myself, Deejay Ranger, with the one, the only Mr. Hogan Ephraim for QPR Fans and Players TV, home and away. We're out of here. Come on, you R'ss.